The amount of people just leaving the United States is absolutely insane. I could sit here and read you all the numbers about how 4 in 10 US adults are planning to relocate, how more people than ever are emigrating from the United States, and how for the first time in over 50 years, there's going to be a net outflow of immigrants rather than an inflow. It is just astounding. But the amount of immigration lawyers and relocation experts and foreign governments who are just swamped with Americans because there are so many people moving that I don't even think the true number is really documented. And it is just going to show that there is a movement happening and it's out of the United States. And whether that's political, economical, or something else, like just looking for a better quality of life, a better pace of life, better work-life balance, there is something happening. And I think a lot of people realize the sinking ship that we are on and they are getting off. I'm not trying to cause a panic or anything like that, but I think people realize the way things are going here, how it's not improving, how it's not going to get better anytime soon. And they are taking the nuclear option of taking their American dream somewhere else. Because the American dream now is to leave. Just look at the number of Americans who live in Mexico, Spain, Portugal, France, etc. It is growing and growing and growing. And I think this is going to have ramifications from foreign governments locking down immigration in the future. Anti-American sentiment is on the rise, unfortunately. And who knows, maybe the government here increasing taxes on expats. I know they were supposed to get rid of the taxes on expats, and instead of doing that, they actually increased the fee of money leaving the United States. So, our government doesn't really like us leaving the country anyway, because it really is the biggest form of protest. You're taking your dollars and you are moving to another place and saying, I am removing myself from this American system. I myself am moving, and I am moving to Portugal next year. I couldn't be more excited. Follow me if you find that interesting, and please let me know if you're leaving, if you're thinking of leaving, and if you are, where you're going. Because even though things are bad here, economically, politically, whatever, I think most of us aren't running away from something as much as we are running towards something. And that something is a better life.
Americans are leaving the USA because they can't afford America anymore, making $100,000 a year, yet they feel suffocated financially because the price of things keep going up. They keep printing money and the wages ain't going up, all right? Matter of fact, there's job loss and there's cuts and all kinds of stuff going on. So once people leave that kind of environment and they go somewhere else and they realize life is supposed to be lived, it's supposed to be simple, it's supposed to be much more about enjoying your health and your family and your loved ones and your purpose and all of these things, rather than spending most of your life at work. What kind of a freaking life is it if you don't do what you love? If you do what you love, cool, man, knock yourself out. I do what I love. Most people, 80-something%, don't do what they love. They don't like their job, and if they didn't have to work their job, they wouldn't work their job. So I know if you watch this far, it's speaking to you. Maybe this is the sign you need to start doing some research to learn how to begin to devise your escape plan and live a better life. Because you know what? If what you're doing is not working, continuing to do the same thing, they call that insanity. You might want to book that flight. See you soon.
We would never have been able to stop working. We couldn't live on our Social Security. And that's really what we both wanted. Right. And here, we do it easily. We have a good standard of life here. Much better, actually.
Their rent, for starters, is $750 a month.
One of the things you wanted was a view.
A view, yeah.
And you got it.
We got it.
They were able to get rid of their car, and they say groceries cost half what they did in the U.S.
Kismet.
Yeah.
Rental income from their California house helps the couple qualify for a visa.
What about health care? What if either of you got really sick? Would you want to go back to the U.S.?
No. I was in the hospital a couple of days here. Part of our residency is that we have to carry private insurance, which is less expensive than Medicare charges, and it pays 100%.
And the quality of care?
It was great.
I think it has never been easier to retire overseas.
Jennifer Stevens is executive editor of International Living, a publication which offers advice and seminars for those considering living or retiring abroad.
You really can live well on a Social Security check in a lot of these places and live at a level of comfort that you would be hard-pressed to enjoy in the U.S. on the same budget.
This message is for you. Why are so many Americans leaving the U.S.? You notice more and more people are packing and moving abroad, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. Life in the U.S. is a non-stop grind. You work, you pay bills, you stress. You don't really get to live. You're just existing. And I always say to you guys, you're not depressed. You just live in the U.S. Because the truth is, this environment wears you out. The politics, the rising of the crime, the constant pressure, it never ends. And let's not get on the food. It feels like every week there's a recall, another GMO, some more pesticides, more chemicals. And you know the saying, you are what you eat. So if they keep filling everything up with junk, that means you're actually junk. You don't really get to be healthy. And don't forget about the health care. One bill here can wipe out your savings. But in other countries, you get better care for lower costs, fresher food, calmer lifestyle, and suddenly leaving doesn't sound so crazy after all, right? So for many Americans, it's not about running away. It's about moving forward to something better. So leaving the U.S. is not giving up the dream. It's actually living the American dream.